Hello and welcome to Thursday Throwdown, your midweek dose of media madness. I'm Katie Halper.
I'm Mary Matte. Thank you so much for subscribing to Useful Idiots. We really appreciate your support. Let's start with JD Vance. He's on the ground in Palestine, overseeing this ceasefire. That is not really a ceasefire because Israel continues to fire on Palestinians in Gaza. And check out what JD Vance says here about Jared Kushner, who is, as we know, Trump's son-in-law. Now, he served in Trump's first term, and the Trump team made a really big deal about saying, Jared, he served us the first time. He did a great job, but now he's no longer in government. After all, he spent his time in between Trump presidencies collecting hundreds of millions of dollars from Gulf monarchies for various investment deals. That's his focus now. He's no longer involved in government. Well, when they just negotiated the so-called ceasefire, Jared Kushner was front and center. And listen to how JD Vance now describes Jared's role.
Well, Jared's the investor here. I'm not going to give you a percentage, but look, what we've seen the past week gives me great optimism the ceasefire is going to hold.
So Jared is the investor, according to JD Vance. Like, what does that mean? Like, Jared's like the literal investor in Gaza. He's going to like own Gaza now. But even if he's speaking figuratively, so what? Jared's the investor in the peace process when he doesn't even have an official U.S. government role, except for the fact that he's Donald Trump's son-in-law.
This is like an anti-Semitic fantasy. Like calling Kushner the investor. The whole thing is just absurd. And I feel like this is like cosplay or something. Like it makes no sense that these people are saying these things out loud. It's like something that we would say about Jared Kushner to criticize him.
Let's hear from the investor himself on how things are going to go under Jared Kushner ruled Gaza.
No reconstruction funds will be going into areas that Hamas still controls. And as far as the demilitarization goes, once the ISF is up, there needs to be a security force that they can feel safe from, that in order for it to be the transition to be complete. So that needs to happen.
By the way, look at JD Vance's face. He looks like legit confused about what he's saying.
Be complete. So that needs to happen. There are considerations happening now in the area that the IDF controls, as long as that can be secured to start the construction as a new Gaza, in order to give the Palestinians living in Gaza a place to go, a place to get jobs, a place to live. So that's one of the many things being considered. Right now, again, there's been several work streams that have occurred over the last years. Those are all being synthesized and updated here at the center. And then they'll go before President Trump and the Board of Peace to get recommendations on what to build, how to phase it. But that's definitely something now that's being very strongly considered.
God, this is just so disgusting. So this wealthy American Jewish Zionist, Jared Kushner, he's now basically telling Palestinians where they're going to live, how they're going to live. He declares that no reconstruction funds will go into the parts of Gaza that Hamas still controls, which is like about half of Gaza.
Well, and given that they always label people and things as Hamas, it's probably going to be like 90% of Gaza, right? Because they always just label people Hamas without having any evidence.
Yeah, so the bulk of Gaza, according to the investor Sultan, Jared Kushner, won't be rebuilt because they'll just say Hamas. I just can't find words for it. I mean, the Trump administration just continues to just blow our minds with their corruption and their colonial arrogance. It was offensive when they had Tony Blair coming in to run Gaza. Right. Jared Kushner is not an improvement.
Yeah, it's a good would you rather. Who's worse?
Someone who also is not very welcome in this space is Daniel Goldman. He is a Democratic member of Congress representing New York City. He got to Congress by basically buying his way in. He's a heir to the Levi Strauss fortune. And just like Hakeem Jeffries and many other corporate Democrats, he is not ready to endorse the Democratic candidate for mayor in New York City, Zoran Mamdani. And here's why.
I am very concerned about some of the rhetoric coming from Zoran Mamdani, and I can tell you as a Jew in New York who was in Israel on October 7th, I and many other people are legitimately scared because there has been violence in the name of anti-Israel and anti-Zionism. And I've asked him to speak out on that and to condemn that. And I frankly haven't really seen him do much on that. And I believe that, for my personal reasons and as well as my professional reasons as a representative of New York City, that it is my duty to make sure that everybody, including the Jewish community, feels safe here. And many in the Jewish community do not feel safe right now. And I hope that Mr. Mamdani takes that to heart and takes some action to make the Jewish community understand that he will keep us safe and secure.
I mean, imagine being a Democrat and you have to deal with members of your own party basically calling you a threat to ethnic groups because you're critical of Israel. And in Mamdani's case, you vowed to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. That's what Daniel Goldman is afraid of because he loves to serve the interests of the Israeli state. And he talks about his duty to his constituents. Well, dude, a majority of your constituents voted for Mamdani. Like
exactly.
Mamdani won Goldman district. So what are you even talking about?
Pretending it's for other people.
And you want to falsely claim that Mamdani hasn't spoken out against anti-Semitism, like not fake anti-Semitism, which by which they mean like criticizing Israel, but actual anti-Semitism. Yeah, of course he has. And he's condemned all forms of violence and discrimination. But that's not what Daniel Goldman is concerned about. He's concerned about Mamdani actually seeing Palestinians as equal human beings.
Yeah, that's what he considers violence, probably, like the rhetoric about Israel.
All right. Well, Mamdani's main opponent, Andrew Cuomo, has found another constituency to speak out against Mamdani, and that is Muslims. Yes. Andrew Cuomo on his Twitter page shared this video from a group calling itself Muslims Against Mamdani.
Ma'am.
We are Muslims against Mamdani.
Ask us why. Why are you against Mamdani?
First of all, do you know that Mamdani is supporting decriminalization of prostitution?
No, we don't want that.
No, we don't.
Who are these people, by the way? No, we don't. Who are they talking to?
Which is an NYC law that prostitution is not allowed.
Yeah.
And we are against it because every single religion of the world against prostitution creates morality issues. It brings a lot of disease. Do you want that?
All right. Well, listen, what I find refreshing about this is rather than going like the traditional route of like Islamophobia and saying that, like Mamdani is going to bring Sharia law into New York City if elected, which is what many pro-Israel fanatics say. They're going the other route. They're saying that Mamdani is basically not supportive enough of Sharia law.
Right.
That's what they're trying here.
Right.
But the thing is, like, the attack is also it's based on a false premise. They say that Mamdani wants to legalize prostitution. In the past, he supported some decriminalization efforts. But the fact is, in New York City, the way the law is enforced, they generally don't even arrest sex workers. And so what Mamdani has called for is not even that different from what's actually applied in practice. So, but this is what Andrew Cuomo was trying, and I have to say I admire the effort.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, honestly, I think decriminalization is the way to go, and we can have another discussion on that. But whether you think prostitution is terrible or not terrible, there's really no reason to shove something into the underground, into the underbellies of society where people have no recourse because they won't ever go to seek help because they themselves don't want to get arrested. So I guess I wouldn't be able to get into Muslims Against Mamdani for two reasons. One, I'm not Muslim. That's one reason. And the other one is I am actually for decriminalizing sex work.
All right. Well, if you thought that Muslims Against Mamdani, ma'am, was a threat to Zohran Mamdani's prospects, wait till you hear about this latest group that is challenging his candidacy.
I'm officially starting Hot Girls for Cuomo. So if you are a hot girl for Andrew Cuomo, I want to hear from you.
I was going to say it's kind of ironic to have a hot girls for someone who's been accused of sexual harassment, credibly accused of sexual harassment by multiple people. I think the best way to expose why this is so ridiculous is by going to the group's website, which is hotgirlsforcuomo.com. Oh, and look what pops up. Report of investigation into allegations of sexual harassment by Governor Andrew M. Cuomo.
I don't know if Emily Austin is one of those influencers who are getting paid $7,000 per post to deny genocide. But one thing she's got to know is if you're going to launch a group, you got to buy up the domain name because
that's very true.
People are going to pounce. So someone pounced on this. And now when you go to hotgirlsforcuomo.com, you get the report into the allegations of sexual harassment by the former governor.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's turn to one more pro-Israel pundit. That is the CNN anchor, Dana Bash, who is upset. And she's upset, especially with celebrities who kept calling for an end to the genocide. And now that Trump has negotiated basically a partial ceasefire, because again, Israel continues to kill Palestinians every single day, Dana Bash is wondering, like, why aren't these celebrities more grateful?
The war in Gaza divided Americans. That's especially on display in Hollywood.
It wasn't a war. It was a genocide.
Right.
There was no war.
Yeah.
We got to correct that every single time.
Right.
There's no war. A war is between two parties that have some parity.
Right.
And at least one of them at least both of them has to have an army. There's no army in Gaza.
Yeah.
There's lightly armed people facing a genocide. Anyway.
Where some celebrities have used their voices not just to call for a ceasefire, but a boycott of Israeli films. Now, Warner Brothers Discovery, CNN's parent company, is now the second major studio to openly reject that because it violates anti-discrimination policies. And as CNN's Elizabeth Wagmeister reports, many prominent celebrities who were vocal about a ceasefire are accused of being silent now that there is actually a ceasefire with Israel, since Hamas released Israeli hostages.
How dare these celebrities not be, I don't know, apologizing for calling for an end to the genocide and not
celebrating?
And not be grateful to President Trump now
Right.
that there's a deal to stop the genocide. That's not really how genocides work. Like,
Right.
if there's a genocide going on, you aren't grateful to the genocidal party for stopping the genocide. And the fact is, you can't even be grateful because Israel continues to kill people every single day and blockade.
Yeah, a couple points. One is, like you just pointed out, you shouldn't like be celebrating if an abuser stops abusing you, right? Like, I wonder if Dana Bash thinks that that's what women should do, or whomever should do when their domestic abuser like is arrested or stops abusing them. But also, the genocide is not over, right? So, besides the fact that historically, Israel constantly breaks ceasefires, right? So that's another reason. Like, why would anyone be celebrating a ceasefire that, in all likelihood, would be broken? And Gaza has been reduced to rubble, right? Like, the food has been systematically destroyed, water, energy. It's really quite absurd and obscene that she wants people to be celebrating.
Yeah, I mean, that's Dana Bash. I mean, her and Jake Tapper were some of the biggest cheerleaders for the genocide. They laundered every single lie that Israeli officials put out. They parroted it to their audience, and they pushed the Hamas mass rape hoax, all that stuff.
But Aaron, I think we have to play a couple more seconds of that clip, because it's not just Dana Bash who we get to hear from.
Guys, and free Palestine. From hack star Hannah Einbinder on the Emmy stage.
What we are witnessing is a genocide.
To Javier Bardem on the red carpet. Many celebrities have used their platforms to oppose the war in Gaza.
You can be pro-Palestinian.
Okay, and here we have pop culture critic and sociologist Deborah Messing, who's described here in the Cryon as an actress and activist, famous for literally Will and Grace, and also being a genocide denier and incredibly stupid.
You can be pro-Palestinian and pro-Israel at the same time.
Deborah Messing is among those in Hollywood who've been vocal in support of Israel and is now calling out other celebrities in the wake of the ceasefire deal. After 2 years of screaming, "Ceasefire now," she wrote on Instagram, it is clear that was never the issue. Messing reposted a statement calling it, quote, obvious that it's only about terrorizing Jews.
Wait, hold on. Not only did she say that, she said only about terrorizing Jews and propagating Arab Islamic dominance. She is, I mean, no, Deborah, I hate to break it to you, but you're not actually pro-Palestinian. You are a racist Islamophobe, and you're talking about Arab Islamic dominance. And that's a hint. That's how you know you're not pro-Palestine.
Well, if only Deborah Messing's fellow celebrities could understand the dangers of Arab Islamic dominance, which of course we're all living under, and now are threatening. It's threatening to get even worse with Zara Mamdani coming to office. If only the celebrities could listen to Deborah Messing's clarion call.
You know what I think she needs to start is Jam, Jews Against Mamdani.
There we go. Yeah, well, there's plenty of those, plenty of people to join her, but also plenty of Jews who would oppose it too. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there are lots of Jews. There's a lot of JFM, Jews for Mamdani.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to Useful Idiots Thursday Throwdown. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks so much for listening to and watching Useful Idiots. For extended episodes, bonus content, and our weekly Thursday Throwdown episode, please subscribe at usefulidiots.podcast.com. Support the show for free by subscribing on YouTube, Rumble, and wherever you get your podcasts. And if you like the podcast, don't forget to rate and review. You can also follow us on Twitter at UsefulIdiotPod. Thanks for supporting independent media. We'll see you next time.